Happy New Year's and welcome into 2021. I know my Christmas decoration are still up, but that's because I love decoration and well, I don't think I'm gonna be removing them anytime soon. But let's get into what today's video is going to be about. We're going to be going forth into chapter 7 of Snowblind. It's going to be a quick summary rather than me reading the chapters. So get ready to discover what chapter 7 holds us. Grab your cup of tea or coffee and join me. Welcome back. So I hope 2021 started right for you, strong and right. You're ready to go. And so to get right into Snowblind here, last year we ended on chapter 6. You can go and find out the other chapters if you haven't been following. The link will be right above here. And then so far, what we've learned is they don't know who the body is, who the killer is, or actually where the body is. And Sasha is basically sort of in trouble, not in trouble with her own company because with the murder investigation, their company might be getting a lot of attention and their work will be behind, so that's basically where they are at. So let's go back into chapter 7, and again I won't be reading line by line because that's not my book, so I can't do that since I didn't get permission to do it. So what I'm gonna be doing is like chapter 6, reading bits and pieces, giving my opinions, and then just keep going to follow the story and see where it brings us. So chapter 7 started with Kathy Cook pitching her business idea. Since this particular meeting was about Kathy Cook having the stage, that's why she brought them to the ice rink where she did a small pirouette for about 2 minutes, as quoted from the book, her famous routine where she got their attention to get the money she needs for her avenues. As she said in the book, I intend to host a national championship at the Arcadia ice rink this year with television coverage, but I will need other revenue streams to make this a profitable endeavor. So as I said, this was basically a pitching of ideas to get more money for what she wants from all of the investors for in the Arcadia hotel. So they are all investing in the Arcadia town basically. And Sam Moreno, the self-help guru, said, I'm in. Because, well, he needed money too. As he said, he's gonna be doing at least 2 seminars in the location, which is Arcadia. But if the other investors gives him money, because apparently he's trying to build an ashram in the Arcadia area where they can have more living students where they can make more money. And Reinhard, another one of the investors, who, if you ask me, so far has been quite rude and very abrupt, said that he doesn't want to give a single penny for the ashram or anything for the self-help guru because he described his idea as the ashram as a hippy-dippy ashram. Apparently they don't really like him, but Let's see what happens next. Since Damien couldn't attend the meeting, he had to be on the computer for a quick second to pitch in to make sure that everybody stay on track, and that's what he instructed Sasha to do before logging out, to do whatever he's doing in the other town. And as Sasha said, she was excited that Damien trusted her enough to leave her alone to handle those investors, but she was also freaked out because these investors have very strong personalities, and she was worried they would trample her. And given Reinhardt's attitude and Kathy's strong personality, I would say, because she does have a strong personality, I can see them basically trampling over her. And Sam Moreno seems basically like a flirt type of dude just to get his way around. So I think the only person who she can actually be comfortable with is the old dude, the uncle. Before starting the meeting, Sasha had to find a way to maintain control so that the investors doesn't, quote, trample her like a herd of wild rhinos, which, if you ask me, is a very funny comparison. And the way that she decided to do it was to ask Brady if he would stay with her while she does the meeting so that she can keep everything on track. Because apparently, Brady's presence gave her confidence. He was strong and solid and trustworthy, the opposite of the most of the partners. And well, as much as I like that she was ready to rely on someone, I find it a bit, I don't know, weird. Just kind of weird that she just met that guy and now all of a sudden she's not able to do her job properly without him being there. That kind of like, I don't know, just put her down a bit in my view. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I guess what the author is trying to do is trying to make her rely on the guy more so that they can make a connection somehow, but I don't know, I find it a bit, I'll just say weird that all of a sudden she needs Brady to help her keep stuff on track. She needs Brady to make her feel strong and confident when she's been working at a law firm in another state and she's reached so far without anyone before. However, I gotta say I admire Brady's trying to keep her confident and even encouraging her with an incentive of cheeseburgers and fries after she's done with her meeting at noon. Which, if you ask me, like the saying says, the way to a man's heart is the stomach, and my saying is, the way to any person's heart is the stomach. So, making his place in her heart right there. And cheeseburger and fries, that's it. Unfortunately for Sasha, Brady couldn't stay because he had gotten a call from the Jacobsons to maybe pursue a clue he didn't know yet, but he was wishing for it to be a clue so that they can take the case even further. And before leaving, he did mention to Sasha to not leave alone, to stay in the room because there were far more witnesses inside the room so that she can be safer. And I'll have to say, when I read the sentence, she was sad to see him go. Her feet was itching to run after him. At that point, I was like, why? Like, she have her own world and he have his world. She have to do her job. But then again, I continued to read that said, and pursue the investigation. In some ways, tracking down a mysterious killer felt far more dangerous than being locked in a boardroom with business leaders. So that distinction there gave it a reason of why she wanted to go, not just because she saw a cute guy and now she can't live without him. But I like that she put that detail there so that it wasn't just like, hey, I just met a guy and I'm sad now that he's leaving. Now we go to the hotel with Brady, who went to meet Jacobson, who informed him that he had spoken with all of the staff and found out that most of them thought the black-haired woman was Andrea, who apparently was Reinhardt's girlfriend. If you remember from the previous chapters, there was a woman in Reinhardt's room who looked almost exactly like the victim that Sasha saw. So my guess is all of the staff was thinking about that woman when they were giving the description of the victim. And after speaking with Jacobson for a few minutes, they discovered that there was a car, a dark green SUV that was parked in the underground parking lot since the previous night. And since a car parked on the street was hardly evidence, Brady was grasping at straws, so running the plate for the apparently abandoned car was something that he found could be a big clue in that case where there was nobody and no blood trail. But apparently Jacobson had already run the plate, which was going over his boundaries, and Brady didn't particularly appreciate it. And even though Brady wasn't getting much help from the sheriff department, he was still in control, and he wanted to make sure Jacobson knew it, because if there was evidence or the killer got away, it would be Brady who would be to blame, not Jacobson. Standing his ground and squaring his shoulder, Brady faced Jacobson seriously and said, "This isn't your job. You're not a cop. I understand. And I don't have to tell you proper procedure. Yeah, I should have notified you first. Damn right you should have." Making sure to stand his ground and not gazing away from Jacobson, Brady let him know that he was not going to back down. After a few seconds of basically staring matches between men, Jacobson told Brady that he liked him, and he liked his confidence and the way he stood his ground, and that if he ever wanted a job other than the sheriff department, he would have a job with him in the security department. Basically dismissing Jacobson's proposal, Brady asked Jacobson to show him what he found from the plate, and pulling a computer notepad from his inner jacket pocket, Jacobson found that the plate belonged to Lauren Robbins of Denver. And if we remember correctly, Sasha, Damien, and I believe even Reinhard are from Denver. And surely enough, from the driver license photo, the woman had brown eyes with long black hair, which fitted Sasha's description. So apparently now we have a victim and a picture of her, which Sasha could possibly identify since she was watching from the binoculars. Now returning to the luxurious owner's box of the Arcadia ice rink, we find that from all the business partners, the investors, they basically let Cassie Cook run with her ideas as long as she did not exceeded the budget. Which was good for Sasha because the discussion went smoothly and not too much problem was caused, which would have required her to call Damien, who was still not in good grace with Sasha. Not totally, at least. Now, before the meeting ended, Damien popped on the computer again to close the meeting, making sure that all the agreement was still in place and that the new agreement that happened during the meeting, which was Sam Moreno having 2 recruitment days for his self-help stuff, being in the contract at, let's see, 65% discount, because, well, he needs a discount, yeah? And then they agreed to meet at Dooley's ranch the next day, where Damien said that he's going to try to make it. If you ask me, I'm thinking he won't be able to make it right now, but once Sasha and Brady gets closer and the situation gets more stormy because of the crime, Damien is gonna be there. That's when he's gonna come. While talking about making arrangement for the next day to have the meeting at Dooley's ranch, to make arrangement to go at Dooley's ranch, they found out that Mr. Virgil P. Westfield, one of the guys who died at the very beginning, his funeral was postponed until the next week because there was going to be an autopsy. This is when Damien admitted that the cause of death was a blow to the head caused by falling down the grand staircase in his home. The coroner would perform an autopsy to determine if he fell because of the medication he was taking. But Cathy was persistent that it was a murder case and insisted that maybe he was pushed and not just fell down the staircase because of his medication, as Damien was suggesting. At present, Damien said, the police consider Westfield's death to be an accident. That's all I can say for now. If you have concerns or questions, don't hesitate to ask Sasha and she'll be in touch with me. In other words, leave me alone and ask Sasha because she won't have an answer either. As the meeting ended, Sasha noticed Brady coming in as everybody was exiting and speaking with Judy. But Reinhard got sight of Brady too and stopped to ask him about the infamous murder at the hotel. Brady, since he didn't have much to go on, said that he was just following up on several leads. But you still don't have a body, Reinhard said. Not yet. Waste of time, Reinhard murmured. murdered. He's sounding very suspicious to me right now. First of all, he brings a girl that looks exactly like the girl who was murdered. And second of all, he's from Denver too, same as Lauren, whose car is just in the parking lot right now. Waiting for everybody to leave, Sasha pulled out the last clip that was holding her chiffon and just exhaled in relief and basically peace, because dealing with all these people apparently takes a toll on her. Being done with the meeting reminded her of the feeling she had as a kid when the final bell rang and school was over for the day. She wanted to skip or run or twirl in a circle. I'm free! Even better. Even better, she was in the company of somebody she liked. Better still, they were going to get cheeseburgers. And even though she wanted to give Brady a big hug, because that's apparently her natural impulse, she's a hug type of person, she refrained from doing so and just said, "Thank you for being here." And as the gentleman as Brady is, said that he wasn't going to leave her unprotected. With a smile, a dimple, a dimple. And just like me, who likes dimples, Sasha too apparently liked dimples a lot because she wanted to kiss that dimple. Cutting the little chat short and complimenting of each other, where Brady was basically like, "I love you, I love how you do your work, you're very concise and your description are very complete." They were ready to venture into the bad news. By they, I mean basically just Brady, because Sasha was well tired by now. Brady let Sasha know that he had found the car, if you remember Lauren's car, but he hadn't found her yet. And by giving Sasha the license for Lauren, he asked her if she recognized her, but apparently she could not because the picture was not big enough. However, they found out that Lauren was a self-employed real estate agent who lived in Denver, in the rich part of the town. But since she didn't have any employees, they couldn't exactly find her yet. And besides, apparently Lauren didn't have any police record. Sasha proposed that she could go ahead and check with her office, since they do a lot of real estate work. And Lauren, the woman she saw from her building, looks like somebody who will venture in the high-end properties or actually living there, so... But Brady was like, "No, that's not your job. Since I'm a cop, so that's my job." But apparently Damien would have told her the same thing too. "That's not your job, my dear." But Sasha was very adamant, and she said, "I want to help." Still not ready to let Sasha help in such a big way yet, since she was already in danger. Brady promised to keep Sasha updated and basically pushed the conversation aside and proposed to go get lunch, since he did promise cheeseburger, and once you promise cheeseburger, never ever go back on it. Even though Sasha wanted to keep pursuing the case and go find out if Lauren was in her company's database, she also did like spending time with Brady, and getting lunch was a very good reason to stay close to him, to watch him, to be with him. Apparently she did apparently she liked watching him in action, and especially liked the way she felt when she was with him. And since they are not going to be discussing the case right now, going for lunch seems like a very good idea. So I do hope that you enjoy this quick summary. I know I didn't do a lot of a reaction for this one, but I did a quick summary of what chapter 7 was about. If you did like it, do drop a like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification for when my other videos come. And until next time, big kisses.